There's a quiet kind of wisdom that settles into life after 70. It doesn't shout. It whispers, gently, like a breeze through the trees on a still morning. And often that whisper says, "You don't need as much as you once did." Many of us spent our younger years collecting things, tools for the house, clothes for different occasions, knickknacks that once brought a smile. But somewhere along the way, all those items began to take up more space than joy. Closets got fuller, cabinets harder to manage, and suddenly it became clear that all that stuff wasn't bringing comfort. It was quietly weighing us down. This isn't about living with nothing. It's about making room for what truly matters: peace, ease, and the freedom that comes from letting go. In today's gentle conversation, we're going to talk about a few things you might consider stopping buying now that you're in your 70s and beyond. Not because you can't have them, but because you simply might not need them anymore. And when you release what's no longer useful, life has a beautiful way of becoming lighter. So, if you've ever opened a drawer and wondered why you still keep 10 of the same thing, or if you've looked around and felt that maybe life would feel easier with less, this video is for you. Stay with me until the end. Not for a list of rules, but for a gentle reflection on how less can sometimes mean so much more. One of the quiet truths that begins to settle in after 70 is this: we are no longer in a season of accumulating. We are in a season of refining, of keeping only what adds peace, comfort, and meaning to our days. Over the years, it's easy to fall into buying habits that once made perfect sense. Stocking up on household cleaners, grabbing the latest kitchen gadgets, buying clothing for just in case. In our busy younger years, we were always preparing for guests, for growing families, for the unpredictable. But now, life has slowed, and in that quiet, it becomes easier to notice which things we truly use and which ones just fill space. Take clothing, for example. So many closets are packed with shirts, shoes, scarves, things we once wore regularly, but now, they just hang there. Our bodies have changed. Our lifestyles have changed. And many of those clothes no longer suit who we are now. Continuing to buy more of what we no longer wear only adds to the clutter and to the quiet stress that clutter brings. The same goes for decorative items. Trinkets, seasonal decorations, shelves filled with things we don't even look at anymore. Years ago, these items brought joy. Now they often just collect dust and make cleaning harder. Letting go and not buying more isn't a loss. It's an act of kindness toward ourselves. The goal isn't to strip your life bare. It's to make space for ease, for clarity, for walking into a room and feeling lightness instead of overwhelm. When we stop buying what we don't truly need, we open up more than just cupboards and drawers. We open up our days. And that space, both physical and mental, is one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves at this stage of life. There's a moment, often quiet and personal, when we begin to look around and realize that what once felt comforting now feels like noise. Not loud noise, but a kind of emotional clutter. Maybe it happens when you try to find something in a packed drawer, or when you walk into a room and feel more weighed down than welcomed. It's in that moment that a deeper shift begins. A realization that letting go isn't about losing things. It's about choosing peace. For many people, especially after 70, shopping can become a habit of comfort. It fills time. It gives a sense of control. A little item here, a new kitchen tool there. Sometimes it feels like a reward. But slowly, quietly, it can turn into something that complicates rather than comforts. Ask yourself gently, am I buying this because I need it, or because I'm used to buying it? That simple question can lead to powerful change. Buying things we don't truly need can create unnecessary stress in our homes, in our wallets, and even in our hearts. Because every object has a weight, even if it's small. And the more we bring in, the harder it becomes to breathe freely in our own space. It's okay to pause before a purchase. It's okay to say, no, not this time. That pause is a form of self-respect, a way of saying, I have enough. I am enough. When we start to buy less, we also begin to notice more. We see the beauty in the things we already have. The well-worn armchair that holds our memories. The cozy sweater that still brings warmth. The simple meals that don't need fancy tools to taste like love. This shift, from constantly adding to gently appreciating, is not just a financial decision. It's an emotional one. It's about honoring the stage of life you're in. One where peace, clarity, and presence matter more than newness. And in making that shift, life becomes not just simpler, but softer, quieter, and more meaningful. As we grow older, our bodies ask us, sometimes gently, sometimes not so gently, to slow down and listen. We move a little more carefully, we rest a little more often, and we begin to notice how important it is to make daily life easier, not harder. This is where simplifying what we bring into our homes becomes more than just a choice. It becomes a form of care. One of the things many people continue to buy without thinking is bulk items. Giant packs of paper towels, oversized jars of food, heavy containers of laundry detergent. They might have made sense when the house was full, or when we were younger and stronger, but now, lifting, storing, and even using them can become a challenge, and those big, heavy purchases often take up more room than we can comfortably manage. The same goes for duplicate items. How many mixing bowls, mugs, or blankets do we really use? It's easy to keep buying things just in case, but too often they just become more to dust, more to move, more to store. Simplifying here isn't about doing without. It's about keeping only what makes daily life smoother. Think, too, about beauty and personal care products. Over time, many cabinets fill with half-used bottles, expired creams, and things we meant to try, but never did. At this age, our skin, hair, and routines are different. Buying more doesn't always mean better. Often, a few gentle, trusted items are all we really need. And of course, there's the emotional side of all this. Clutter can quietly cause stress. When too many things are piled up or out of place, our homes can begin to feel like work instead of rest. By choosing not to bring in more than we truly need, we're not just clearing shelves. We're protecting our energy, our safety, and our peace. After 70, every step we take to lighten our daily load is an act of love. For our health, our comfort, and the home we've so carefully built. There's something deeply spiritual about letting go. It's not just about clearing a shelf or skipping a purchase. It's about honoring the life you've lived and recognizing that what you truly need now can't be bought in a store. At this stage in life, peace becomes more valuable than possessions. Stillness becomes more precious than things. Many of us grew up believing that having more meant we were doing well, that the full pantry, the stocked closet, the holiday decorations in every corner were signs of a life cared for. And maybe they were at the time, but now the heart begins to ask for something different. Not more things, but more meaning. When you stop buying out of habit and begin choosing with intention, a new kind of clarity comes into your life. You start to see how little you actually need to feel full. A favorite book by your bedside. A cozy chair by the window. A quiet afternoon with nothing planned. These are the things that speak softly to the soul. Not flashy, not loud, but deeply, deeply nourishing. And in that space, there's room to reflect. To remember that every item you let go of is not a loss, but a step toward freedom. You're not giving up. You're growing wiser. You're listening to what your spirit needs now and choosing simplicity as a form of grace. This stage of life isn't about what you can buy. It's about what you can feel. Peace in your home. Stillness in your heart. The lightness of waking up in a space that feels open and calm instead of crowded with things you no longer use or even see. In the end, it's not about emptying your life. It's about filling it with love, with rest, and with the quiet joy that comes from knowing you've already gathered what matters most. And the rest? You can gently let it go. So here we are at the end of this gentle conversation. If there's one message I hope stays with you, it's this. You don't need to keep filling your home or your life with more. You've already done so much. You've already gathered decades of memories, wisdom, and love. And now, it's okay, more than okay, to let yourself rest in the peace of enough. Choosing to stop buying certain things after 70 isn't about restriction or going without. It's about kindness. It's about giving your body, your heart, and your home a chance to breathe, to feel lighter, to be a place of comfort instead of clutter. Each small decision, not to buy that extra set of dishes, not to bring home another decorative piece, is a step toward a simpler, gentler way of living, a life where there's more space for laughter, more time for connection, more quiet moments that bring real joy. You deserve that ease. You've earned it. So as you move forward, let this be your reminder. You are not defined by the things you own. You are defined by the love you've shared, the strength you've shown, and the beauty of simply being here, in this moment, still growing, still choosing, still alive. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this message brought you comfort or reminded you of your own quiet strength, I invite you to stay connected with this space. You're never alone on this journey. We walk it together, with soft steps, open hearts, and the deep wisdom that comes only with time.